Hey there, Libra. Welcome to your reading for the week of April 17th. We're just going to jump right in here, Libra. You have this undecided card. It says, dealing with fluctuating goals and or income, it's important to stay informed on the shifts that are occurring. I would encourage you just to pick the new path with the Two of Wands. Two of Wands is very specific. So if you are undecided on something, the Two of Wands is standing where he has always been. There's like a little village down here, and it kind of represents where he has been his whole entire life. Like he grew up in that village. And, the story of the Two of Wands is that he rushed to a finish line. He didn't enjoy the process. He became very successful. He's, standing at the top of a castle here. But, he thinks that there's nothing more for him to experience. He thinks that everything he has experienced up into this point is basically what his life will be. He doesn't realize that he has the whole world in his hands. He can turn his life into whatever he wants it to be, right? If he takes control, he has to leave his comfort zone. He has to leave that castle so that he can experience it. And so if you're undecided on something, I do feel like this is saying it's time to step outside a comfort zone or, explore new opportunities or new interests or new desires, whatever it is for you. And I kind of feel like that's what this reading is encouraging you to do. It's encouraging you clearly to go on the adventure here. You have the Knight of Wands. I do feel like you've dealt with maybe inconsistent energy in the past. And again, I would definitely be careful of any inconsistent people that are coming into your life. We even go down to the Seven of Swords here. But what I would say is, for the most part, I feel like this reading is more about you. I feel like it's about you setting yourself free from the Eight of Swords. This whole entire row here is basically about going on an adventure. Again, Three of Wands, a card of expansion. He's looking out into the ocean here, and he maybe wants to expand. He wants to grow, but it's a card of what are you waiting for? Then you have the Nine of Wands, which is a card of the Wounded Warrior, but it's also a card that says that you need to experiment, basically try new things to be successful. And then you have the Eight of Cups, which, he's walking into darkness, but I personally think the Eight of Cups is a good card because he's walking towards the Nine of Cups, number one. So he's walking away from things that no longer serve him and towards fulfillment. It's how can that be a bad thing, right? And really, I feel like that's what this reading is saying. It's saying what you might be stuck on, or if you're having a hard time making a decision on what to do with your life, whatever it is, it's going to be different for all of you. I see some of you are looking for new jobs here. Others are walking away from inconsistent energies. That could be people, places, or things as well. And whatever it is, I feel like you're heading towards fulfillment. And literally, your last card says ultimate fulfillment on it. With the Two of Wands, you have the Eight of Pentacles. It's going to be work, right? It's going to require work to make these changes, but it'll be worth it. Personally, I like the Eight of Pentacles because, again, it's work, but it's work that's worth it. I always say that this card truly represents material success on the horizon. And what I mean by that is that basically there's money coming in after you do some work, and some of you have already done the work, others haven't, but I do feel like there's success coming in after a difficult period of time. With the Knight of Wands, you have the Queen of Cups here. I thought you had another cup card. I mean, you have other cups cards, but I mean, I thought you had another person cup card, and you don't, but it doesn't matter. I kind of feel like this is talking about your heart. Normally, she has that cup, a traditional Queen of Cups, and it kind of looks like a trophy. It doesn't really look like a cup. So I always say that she truly values what she wants in life. And if look at this, it's this fulfillment card here. I'll show you over here. Look at that. It's like a cup with the sun in it. So, I feel like there's something that, it doesn't have to be love. I feel like I feel this whole entire reading is actually much, much bigger than just love. Even your next card in your next row says dream bigger. So it's not just love that will bring you fulfillment, of course. And, I feel like it's your heart that will bring you fulfillment. Multiple people have had messages like this right here, the Queen of Cups and the Knight of Wands, which is, again, about following your heart, but also your desire. The Knight of Wands, he really moves towards what he desires in life, and he allows that to be his guide. I really think it's just a sign of the times, Pluto and Aquarius. With the Eight of Swords, you have the Empress. I feel like you need to set yourself free. The Empress obviously is a card of abundance and success, but it's maybe you don't feel this way with the Eight of Swords. The Eight of Swords can kind of represent only seeing one way of doing things, just like the Two of Wands, and kind of very similar, and needing to set yourself free. Some of you might not feel abundant because maybe you don't have love, but maybe there are a lot of things in your life that that are abundant. So I kind of feel this is like a mindset. I feel like this going this way right here is saying that you, even if you don't feel like it, you actually are very abundant. You are very successful. And if you focus on that, I feel like you're going to bring in more resources, not just money, but energetically as well. The Queen of Pentacles is all about your resources. So, Libra, I feel like you're about to increase your resources. Everything is kind of adding up to that, basically. You have this small dreams card. It says, not dreaming big enough. That can create a high impact, meaningful life. It says, dream bigger. There's nothing to be ashamed of having... there's nothing to be ashamed of to have small dreams, but is it what you truly want? To reach higher heights, shift your mindset and dream bigger. You are capable of so much more. So I feel like you're capable of accomplishing big dreams. I just read a book the other day. I can't remember what it was. Something, I don't know, I'm sure it'll come to me in a minute, but basically, in that book, there are tons of books as well, like Think and Grow Rich as well. He talks about, asking for things unapologetically, just going for what you want and not being ashamed. Some people are ashamed to say that they want $1 million or that they want money or whatever the case may be. But again, I think people need to realize that you're not taking from someone else. Like when you are truly abundant, right? Then you're just creating more abundance. It's like if you're making $1 million, it's like they just print money all day freaking long, right? So it's like they just print it. It should be easy for you to get it, and it should be easy for everyone to get it. But I believe we need to have more people who manifest $1 million or whatever to show that it's easy, right? So by doing something great, you're just working with the energy and you're showing other people how easy it is that to be done. And you might be saying, Chris, it's crazy to make $1 million. It's not very easy. But I think that it is. So, what I would say here is I would get to work and try to make it happen so that you can inspire more people to do it. I always say the best thing you can do, the most spiritual thing you can do with Pluto and Aquarius is inspire other people. You can do that by, doing something that no one in your family has ever done, inspiring your family, inspiring people around you, starting a YouTube channel. When you do that, you inspire other people to do it as well. So any of that stuff, it's going to come back to you tenfold. And, I would start working on whatever you're thinking about. You have these 7 of Wands, 3 of Wands, and the Knight of Swords. 7 of Wands, these two cards right here come up for everybody recently. These two right here, not the 10 of Wands, but 7 of Wands is a card of conviction. It's a card of knowing that that you're going to be successful. And it's like when we believe something that deeply, then we do truly become successful. So I feel like this has to do with your beliefs and what you believe. I also do feel that you could be putting boundaries up against something. It could be a person, place, or a thing. But I feel like you could be putting boundaries up against something that has been a drain on your resources with the 10 of Wands. The 10 of Wands is showing up in the good stuff, so it's not that big of a deal. I personally don't consider the 10 of Wands that bad of a card. It's a harvest that he is carrying. He wanted this, and he's about to reach his home in the background, so it's like a card that says, yeah, he might be burdened, but he's about to have a harvest. How bad can that be? But it is showing up in the good stuff. But what I would say is I do feel like you have dealt with either people, places, or things that have drained you of your resources. I feel like you're kind of looking into the future. But it's like the words that I have popping into my head is like you're looking for progress. Like I feel if you get into a relationship, for example, you want there to be progress. It shouldn't just start one way. It shouldn't start one way and then stay the same over that period of time. I think you're looking for something that goes up. Of course, there will be, ups and downs. Same thing in business. It's like I think you don't want to start making a certain amount of money and then just have it be the same the whole time. I hope that makes sense. I'm getting a much deeper, message of growth here on this card. So you're looking for something deeper, different. You have the Knight of Swords as well. So again, I would be careful of anyone coming back from the past. This retrograde has been a doozy already. So, there definitely could be, and everybody's had a message of someone coming back from the past. As I always say, I'm I know that I'm the only reader that says do not go back to the past, but I'm a big fan of not repeating mistakes, and so especially during a retrograde, But the other thing that I will say is if you're gonna repeat a mistake, the best time to do it is probably during a retrograde. With the 7 of Wands, you have the Queen of Swords. Yep, seeing things clearly. I feel like you are very sure about what you want now. It's like when we become clear and certain of the direction we want to move in life, then it becomes much easier, and I kind of feel that. With the Three of Wands, you have the Nine of Cups. Yes, we know that you're walking towards true fulfillment because of that Eight of Cups. Nine of Cups, there is like a little bit of projection energy with the Nine of Cups. We should be projecting ourselves into the energy of what we want as if we already have it. So, visualization or just feeling as if you already have the things you want is always a good idea with the Nine of Cups. With the Knight of Swords, you have the Seven of Pentacles. I feel if this is a past person, it's like you already know what they can give. Libra, you always get this card with me. I always say, is the juice worth the squeeze, Libra? And, I feel like that it's not. It's like exactly how much someone is capable of providing. But this could also be a job as well. It's like maybe you've been at the same job for 10 years and maybe there's just like nothing more for you. Maybe there's no more growth. So I feel like you're saying, you know what? I'm going to go look for something else. I'm going to find something better. Next, for what you need to hear right now, you have this next year card. It says, step by step, you'll get there. I mean, really, all the astrology is pointing towards this. Keep going, baby steps, don't rush. There's no shortcuts on this journey. Yeah, it's not going to take you until next year to find success. But again, this is how life works. It's like, you don't just become successful usually. It's like a bunch of little steps adding up over time. And so, several readings this week have been talking about these little steps that are adding up more or less. I mean, the messages have been different, but that's what they're all kind of getting at, right? And, it just seems like, I don't know, we could be cashing in, people. This could be a good thing. Like, as in, maybe we're all getting some, like, a boost from the universe for all the work that we've done over the years. But I do also feel some of you are clearly moving in new directions, working on new projects, businesses, jobs, relationships. And, again, I feel like you're kind of working on them so that they can be much more long-term. You have this Queen of Pentacles here. You always get the Queen of Pentacles as well. It just popped into my head that you always get this card. You're always getting these cards of resourcefulness. So anything you can do to tap into your, financial resources or anything you can do to boost your resources, I think would be a good idea with this card for sure. You have the Nine of Wands. Nine of Wands is like the wounded warrior. Some of you, clearly, you have the Seven of Swords right here. But it looks to me like, again, you're like walking away from this person that causes a lot of burdens. So you could have been dealing with a liar, cheater, stealer. You could have been, maybe this person wasn't a liar, cheater, stealer, but maybe they just sucked, right? So, maybe they were okay, but not great. So I kind of feel like you're walking away from a person who could have been, Seven of sneaky. Some of them were liar, cheater, stealer. Some of them, I think, you're just walking away. Plain and simple. What I would say is that the Seven of Swords has come up for almost everybody this week, and the Seven of Swords is a card of tactics. So it says if there's, outside of love, or even inside of love, really, but if there's something you want to accomplish, it's like, is there a different way than what you're thinking to accomplish it? He's going to war with that army in the background, but he's not going to war by attacking them with swords. He's stealing their swords so that they can't be used against him in battle. It's kind of a card that says there might be a different way for you to approach something that you're trying to accomplish that doesn't require you to go like straight at it, With the Queen of Pentacles, you have the Five of Pentacles. Yes, you are going to have to be resourceful at this time like everybody else. So, it would be a good time to like look at your resources. Everybody gets this. Again, we are in for a bumpy ride. I don't want to scare people, and that's not the point of tarot. But what I would say is that I think, like, as far as money is concerned, we're going to see some crazy stuff. Like, you think the banks collapsing and all that other stuff is crazy. I mean, you ain't seen nothing yet, as I've been saying. So, I keep telling people, like, don't panic. That's like the worst thing you can possibly do. Number two, the best thing you can do is be prepared. Is just be aware of what's going on. Learn about it. Educate yourself. And then you will be prepared, right? That's all I would be doing. With the Nine of Wands, you have the Justice card. Yeah, I feel like this is your card, Libra, duh. But, I feel like you're calling justice. I feel like you're balancing things out. I feel like you're weighing things up. I feel like you're very clear on like who, what, when, where, why can give to you and what those situations can't give to you. So I feel like you're only interested in entering into situations where you put energy in, you get energy out. I've been talking about this with you for a long time. With the Seven of Swords, you have the Nine of Pentacles. Yeah, I feel like you'd rather be alone than be with a liar. So, I feel like a lot of you are really kind of focusing on yourself at this time, focusing on your own independence, your own abundance. And it looks to me like that's exactly what you are creating here. So, love it. Next, in the area of the good stuff, you have this Ultimate Fulfillment card. It says, you are now entering a time of peace, happiness, and emotional fulfillment. Love it. So feeling very fulfilled. You have the Six of Cups, the Eight of Cups, and the Ten of Wands. It's kind of interesting because Six of Cups can represent like a gift from the universe. And I always say the gift we usually receive from the Six of Cups is obstacles being removed from our path. And what I mean by that is it's like maybe you've been trying to do something in your life for a long time. When you get the Six of Cups, it can say that those obstacles that have been preventing you from accomplishing something are now being removed from your life. And so it's kind of like a green light from the universe. I also do feel that for those of you, I mean, we're going to clarify in a minute, but I do have a feeling that for those of you that want love, there definitely could be a solid new connection coming in for you here with this card, something that makes you very happy. I feel like it's something very abundant as well and could be very playful. I think I said this to you in your last reading, something about playfulness. I keep getting it in your readings. You have the Eight of Cups. So again, I feel like I feel like you're more sure of yourself, about walking away from something as well. I am getting a message that if you're walking away from a person for the second time, by the way, this isn't the first time, I feel, if this message is for you, then, I feel like you're making the right choice. And, maybe that's all you need to know. Is that some of you, I feel like maybe that a situation isn't right. And so maybe you gave a person a second chance already, and I feel like you're choosing to walk away. And that's, again, I feel like this is just confirmation, basically. You have the Ten of Wands. Yeah, I feel like you're about to be rewarded here, Libra. Did I just call you Gemini? I feel like I did. But anyway, whatever. Libra. I feel like you are kind of about to be rewarded. You can see that he's about to reach his home in the background here. Those wands that he's carrying, that is a harvest. He planted those wands. So I always say, to me, it's not really a bad card because he's about to have a harvest. It's like, yeah, he's done a lot of work, but he's about to get the reward. And, I feel like this reading is really saying you're about to be rewarded for all the challenges. With the Six of Cups, you have the Ace of Swords. A victory definitely could be communication coming in for you. There could be a person rushing in with communication. I would definitely not rush a relationship right now, Mercury retrograde. I always tell people don't worry about people always say, I know all astrologers and stuff say don't date during retrogrades and all this other stuff. I'm like, but if we listen to all the astrology stuff, and I love astrology, trust me, but at the same time, we would never get anything done if we allowed it to rule our life, right? So I always tell people, who cares? I've known people who have been married under retrogrades and are still together 20 plus years later. So you know what I mean? It's like, I think if something is meant for us, it doesn't matter what's going on in the sky. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be. And that's all that you need to know. So if you meet a person you want to go on a date, go on a date. I always tell people as well, it's like, just realize that things might be different after the retrograde. But that could be a good thing. It's like, maybe they were super quiet and didn't talk very much during the retrograde, but maybe you give them another chance after the retrograde and all of a sudden they're super talkative and totally different, right? So it's like, it doesn't have to be a bad thing. It could be a good thing. With the Eight of Cups, you have the Four of Swords. Everybody has had the Four of Swords in their last row, and it kind of strikes me that it could just be a good time for recovery, or maybe people are taking more time to recover right now, or to heal, or to go through a healing. Seems to me like people could be a little bit more focused on their health as well. And again, I am not a doctor, so do not take this as medical advice, but I feel it would be a good time for that. With the Ten of Wands, you have the Seven of Wands. Again, Seven of Wands is, again, a card of conviction. I also feel like you're putting up boundaries against, past people, past situations, whatever you want to call it. So, there you go. We're going to pull 5 main themes now, Libra, and we're going to see what's going on for you. You have this concentration card. Yeah, focus seems to be very important this week as well. You have the Queen of Swords. So, what you focus on is what you're going to get. I would make sure that you're focusing on, the things that y'all want in life, the good stuff, basically, and that's what you'll get here. Next, you have the discrimination card. So, this is a card of discernment. It's a card of, basically being able to look at situations and say, this is right for me, this is wrong for me. And I really feel that's what you're good at now, because you have that Justice card. We basically said that, where, I feel like you're much better at, picking good situations or things that are right for you or whatever you want to call it. And that's kind of the vibe I get there. Next, you have the Patience card. This card always reminds me of the Nine of Pentacles. If you look at that lady there, she kind of looks like the lady that's on the Nine of Pentacles, right? I don't know. I mean, at least to me. And so I feel like you have been patiently waiting for an increase in abundance, and I feel like you're about to get it. And I also get something here, if you're waiting for a job, there could be a job coming in that improves your independence. Maybe it just helps you be able to live on your own more better, is what I'm trying to say here. Or maybe it makes you feel more financially independent, so it feels good. Next, you have this innovation card. Yeah, I mean, I would say Pluto and Aquarius. I think anyone who isn't innovating, trying new ideas, evolving, trying to do things differently, it's like if you're not doing that, then you're crazy. Because I literally feel like the people who are going to be crazy successful over the next 20 years are the people who innovate, who try new things, who, come up with new ideas. They don't even have to be good ideas, people. I keep telling people they don't have to be good ideas. The best example I can give you is it's like sometimes there are things that like I post on social media, right? for Minnow Pond, that I don't think are going to do very well. And it's like always the things that I think that are not going to do well that do extremely well. So again, most of the time I think what we think is a good idea is not. The things that we think are not a good idea are. And that I kind of get that here. Like some of your ideas might be brilliant, but you just don't realize it. You have this protection card. We actually see a lot of protection in this reading, 7 of Wands twice, 9 of Wands. So I feel like it's a good idea to, keep your boundaries up with people and situations and everything like that. But, overall, really good reading here, Libra. So thank you for being here and definitely enjoy your week.